You observe in absolute neutrality the negative circumstance, okay? You witness it. You even witness the emotions that you feel, but you don't drive momentum into it. So you don't create more of the same as you would in the observer effect. And as you witness it, there's no driving force. So the particles have no energy to drive them into existence. They dissolve, reality dissolves, and it goes back into its pre-creational state, and it reforms from a place of divinity. Hello, this is Sarita, and I'm here to help you understand the truth about who you are. So today I wanted to share a light bulb moment that I had, an understanding that I had about the nature of the universe and the nature of manifesting and healing. And I'm going to call this the container effect. So I want to share with you my thoughts on the container effect. And in order to explain that, I'm going to first talk about the observer effect that I imagine many of you on this channel have already heard about and understood in some detail. But I'm going to go over it just in case some of you haven't, and also just to reiterate so that I can then explain to you what the container effect is. So basically, many of us already know that in the field of science, in physics, they've already discovered that matter, or our universe or reality, comes into being when it is observed. Okay, so what that implies is when things are not being observed, they exist in infinite potentials everywhere all at once. This is quantum physics, okay? And when we observe things, what we do is we bring them into this reality as manifested material form. So basically what's happening is everything is existing in a kind of wave format. And when we observe it, we call that wave, and it becomes a particle. It appears solid. And actually what physicists know now is that that solid matter is both a wave and a particle simultaneously all at once, and everything is existing all at once everywhere, and as we observe it, it comes into being. Okay, now this is a really great thing to understand in terms of manifesting your reality. We all know that what we put our attention to comes into being. Now the thing with manifesting is you can't just put your attention to something. There has to be, if you like, an energy that calls it into being, that drives it into being, a momentum that calls it into being. And what we use as human beings is we use our emotions. And this is why I'm always saying, in order to manifest, you have to think and feel to call something into being. That's why things like Tibetan heart meditation and a lot of the techniques that I use work, because you're using all of your attention and focus on a reality that you want, and you're driving the energy of that with the momentum of your emotions. Gratitude is a great one because it already expects the manifestation to be there, but joy also works. You know, relief also works, positivity works, you know, happiness, all of those kind of things. The emotional drive of something with a focused attention brings it into a particle state so that you can experience it in this reality. Now, the thing with manifesting that we also know is it's can be hard to manifest things consciously. And this is because the conscious part of our brain is a very small, if you like, brain, whereas the unconscious part of the conscious part is like a small computer, and the unconscious part is a much bigger supercomputer. And most of us are manifesting from our unconscious feelings and thoughts and focus and attention. That's why often when you're worrying about something or you're thinking negatively about something, it comes into being. It's very powerful, our unconscious mind, and it's running all of the time. Whereas our conscious mind, we have to be aware of consciously in the present moment. And so we're more used to using our unconscious brain because that's the kind of thing that runs the systems of our heartbeats and our respiratory systems and stuff like that. We're used to using our unconscious systems to manifest. But because we're living in, if you like, an inverted matrix, and that's like a kind of whole nother topic of conversation, but because we're living in a reality which is essentially inverted, and it's a difficult and challenging reality to live in. There's a lot of suffering on this planet, and we've been conditioned and programmed in negative ways. We're often manifesting from those unconscious, detrimental emotions and attentions. Okay, so that's what is often driving the show of our lives, unless we are being very conscious and present all of the time. And this is where the container effect comes into play. And it's so amazing, the container effect, because what I've realized is that the container effect is a fabulous tool to, if you like, remove the negative manifestations or worries or patterns or patterns of our behavior, or how events that appear to be around us, or our relationships that are negative. It's a good way to kind of dissolve and dispel those things. So the container effect works on the assumption that you are the creator. You are a fractal aspect of the creator of the all that is. Okay, so you are creator consciousness. And the container, which is the creator, holds everything in this universe and in the multiverse and beyond, and everything. So the creator is the container that holds all of the experiences that are happening to everyone. Okay. And the creator is, in essence, experiencing itself, whilst all the fractal creator aspects of itself, you and I and all the other people, are having these experiences. And what I've discovered is that basically the state of neutrality dissolves reality. Okay, the state of neutrality dissolves neutrality. So if you are in a situation where something is playing out, let's say you're feeling ill, or people are behaving in negative ways to you, or you keep having accidents, or just your reality is not what you want, something's going on, a circumstance is going on in your reality. If you can observe it in absolute neutrality, what will happen is that the reality you're witnessing will dissolve back into the infinite potentials of the pre-creational state that it actually is. So if you like, it will turn back from a wave and particle into a wave, and it will join all of the other infinite potentials that are out there, and a new reality will be formed. Okay. So basically, I'm calling it the container effect because the creator is holding everything, and it does not mind whether it's experiencing something negative or positive, or a bad relationship or a good relationship. It's just experiencing everything. It has no judgment about that. It loves it all because the creator is love, and it's experiencing everything as a reflection to know itself better. Okay. And when you can experience true neutrality, so I'm not saying that you don't feel what's going on, because you are a multi-sensory being and you will always be feeling what's going on if you've unnumbed yourself through inner work. You don't numb yourself, but you can feel and see everything that's going on in that perspective, but you are absolutely neutral about it. What happens is that you remove the driving emotional force, which is the thing that is great for manifesting with the observer effect. You remove the emotion. You're not driving emotion. You're feeling emotion, but you're not driving it. You remove the emotion, which is the momentum driving force. And then those particles dissolve back into wave format. And what you'll find is, because if you like, your divinity, your spirit, and the divinity of everything is always moving towards evolution and your highest good, what will come in when that reality has been dissolved is a new reality or behavior or circumstance, which is similar. So it will look similar. So let's say you're having a relationship with someone which is awful. The relationship will still be there, but it will suddenly shift into something that is more divinely aligned for you. So which is more beautiful and more loving and easier for you to deal with. So basically, you become the container. You observe in absolute neutrality the negative circumstance, okay? You witness it. You even witness the emotions that you feel, but you don't drive momentum into it. So you don't create more of the same as you would in the observer effect. And as you witness it, there's no driving force. So the particles have no energy to drive them into existence. They dissolve, reality dissolves, and it goes back into its pre-creational state, and it reforms from a place of divinity. It's extraordinary. I want you to try this. So if you're witnessing someone you love having a difficult time, like a child or a parent, or you're being triggered by something, or something in your circumstances not working, try becoming the container. And the thing is that the observer effect and the container effect are basically two sides of the same coin. They both require your absolute presence. But the observer effect, in order to manifest, is using the driving energetic, if you like, force of your will and your emotions to bring it into being. And the neutrality of the container effect is removing that, and it dissolves something from its being state. It was a genius revelation, because I've been working with it, and it's just, it's really a lot easier. And it's a little bit like some of the work that I've been trying to teach you about trauma, because what I've been trying to teach about trauma is you feel the trauma in your body, and you sit with it, and you sit with it, and you sit with it, and it just dissolves. And I've witnessed this so many times in myself and others. Basically, either I'm healing others, or I'm making them put their hands on themselves. Let's say if they're doing the hand light pathways technique, which, by the way, is free on my website. It's a whole course for you, free to do on my website, that heals your inner trauma. My website is Sarita-Sol.com. So go there and grab that course for free. So basically, I've been teaching people to work with their trauma by feeling the trauma in the body and just sitting with it and witnessing it, sitting with it and feeling it, and not trying to fix or change it. And it just dissolves. And you can literally feel trauma dissolving when you really get into this state of neutrality. And what I've just realized is I've just, had this light bulb moment where, oh, of course, that applies to all of reality. Our relationships, circumstances we don't like, can't pay the bill this month, worrying about that, trying to manifest with a positive emotion, but it's actually probably being driven by fear with your unconscious blocks and all that kind of stuff. Just be neutral, become the container, really become the creator that you are. So to summarize, the observer effect is fantastic for manifesting, and the container effect is fantastic for dissolving things. It's great to work with what you perceive as negativity, but of course, all negativity is teaching you something and is actually evolving you. And perhaps it's here to teach us this, you know. And the more I go into all of this work, the more the simpler it becomes. It's just becoming simpler and simpler and simpler, as you know, I and many of you are stepping more and more into our true nature as creator consciousness. So I really hope that this video has been helpful for you. I really encourage you to try this new technique. If you want to try it first with the trauma in the body, go to my website, sarita-sol.com. Come and find me on Patreon if you want to meditate live with me once a week, which I do with my group. It's really powerful. We learn lots, and it really makes us show up for ourselves once a week, and we meditate live all together. And otherwise, I wish you all the most fabulous journey and the most beautiful day. Please share and like this video if it's assisted you, and I will see you all very soon.